Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me at the market site in Times Square, we have Kiana Danielle. She is the CEO of InvestDiva and also the author of Cryptocurrency Investing for Divas. It's for Dummies, excuse me, Dummies, Divas. It's so great to have you back with me. It's been some time, and this is the perfect way to wrap up Blockchain Week in New York City with something that everyone can understand, because there's so much investor interest in cryptocurrency, but they have a really hard time understanding really what it is. So let's talk about some best practices for choosing the right cryptocurrency.
Right, so in my opinion, cryptocurrency is somewhat a cross between a foreign exchange, like in the US dollar forex, and an asset like an equity or a stock. And the way that I go about it, you really have to take both kind of applications, because it is a currency, but it also is an asset that is backed by blockchain. So you want to understand the blockchain technology behind whatever cryptocurrency that you're choosing. So I go from both ways. So I really first do my fundamental research about it and understand if the team is doing the right thing, what the ideology is, what the blockchain is doing, how they're different, why they matter, and what the future is for them, and then go about, okay, is this cryptocurrency even necessary? Is it different than Bitcoin? Is it better than Ethereum? And then I go about the technical analysis of it as to when is the best time to actually dive in.
So you can do chart work on cryptocurrencies.
100%, yeah. I mean, actually, I thought we couldn't, which is interesting, because when we kind of bottomed out with Bitcoin at 3,000, all the technical chart indicators were saying, okay, the bullish movement is coming. And I was like, there's not enough data. I don't think if I can trust this chart. But guess what? Those indicators were completely right on. And that was a beginning of a bottoming out of Bitcoin's price.
So how do you find the right platform? Because there's so many different kinds of exchanges, and it is a little bit different than stock investing, where you can go through a broker. You actually have to trade through the exchange, correct, with Bitcoin?
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, right now you can even go through brokers as well if you just want to speculate on cryptocurrency. That is not something that I do. But I believe that the process of finding the right platform is kind of the same as the process that when you go about finding the right broker for you. You want to find out, you want to make sure they're trustworthy, they're regulated. It was not as regulated before. That's why we had so many scandals. But now it's actually getting a lot better. The SEC is getting involved, and the regulators are having an open mind about it. So the way I go because I still cannot pinpoint which one is the best place to go, I diversify. I go through all channels just in case. And then I always store my cryptocurrency on a wallet. I never leave them on.
So you won't leave them on the exchange itself, you put it into
yes, 100%.
A wallet. Why do you think investors are having a hard time adopting crypto?
Because, well, at least in the US, I think this is something that they don't appreciate as much, because everywhere else, in any other country, if you go to the European Union, if you go to South Korea, to China, Singapore, Japan, everybody somewhat appreciate what cryptocurrency brings on the table. But because I believe the US dollar is so strong and the Americans are so confident in the US dollar, that they cannot even understand, or begin to understand and appreciate that a different kind of currency can become maybe better, or replacing a government bank currency.
Well, you're seeing that too in a lot of underdeveloped nations, that they don't have banking.
Exactly.
So it's not like they have these legacy financial systems and hurdles to overcome. They're just plugging in the new technology and using digital assets as a form of exchange.
Yes, and that is something that I didn't know. Even in the US, I think the number was 10% of people are underbanked or unbanked.
That's a high number.
That is a very high number. Not probably in cities in New York, but immigrants or people who don't have or don't want to go to a bank because they're scared of their credit. They can use Bitcoin, and that is the reason why we are seeing now 250 Bitcoin ATMs around the country, which to me was a very high number. But apparently, due to their analysis, it actually makes sense to them for people who don't have access to bank, even in the U.S.
So longer term, you think that digital assets are going to catch on, and it's something that we will eventually transition to? I mean,
100%.
years down the line, but
yeah, 100%. It is going to take its time, and I do believe that the U.S. is lagging, because if you go to Israel, for example, right, and they already have Bitcoin exchanges like on this, like they have a shop Bitcoin exchange. But I think the U.S. is also doing a great job in the research and analysis side of it. So the becoming it mainstream is going to take a little bit longer, but I do believe that it is actually already here. We are already there, where you can go to Whole Foods and pay with Bitcoin.
All right, Kiana, great to catch up with you as always. Thanks for joining us at MarketSite.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thanks for joining me on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.